Let's talk about the Bucks side of things. It is the first time the entire postseason that they have dropped at a home game, right? So second straight series. They've lost game one, though, because they, of course, started on the road last series. Perk, you did pick Milwaukee before this series. Do you still trust the Bucks?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Bucks. One thing about it, look, they will adjust. They will play better. At the end of the day, this is not the Bucks team that we saw against the Miami Heat or the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to come out back and respond. And look, one thing about it, we could talk about Trae Young, and rightfully so, but they still don't have an answer for Giannis. Yeah. Giannis got downhill whenever he wanted. He got to the paint. And Chris Middleton is not going to shoot that poorly. Go ahead, RJ. You point your finger. Go ahead. Do what you got to say.
I wouldn't point.
No, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
Well, listen, I apologize. I'll interpret for Perk for anybody that doesn't understand, like, Southern Texas accents. What he's saying. What he's saying.
He had Church's Chicken retweeting him today.
That's not a positive thing here. Have you said, look, like,
he speaks to people. Perk speaks to the people.
That Church's Chicken is speaking to other parts of Perk, but we'll talk about that later.
Wait, a lot of Perk to love.
Look, my thing about this is that the Bucks are the better team. They are the superior team. But part of the frustration in last year, the year before, is that the Bucks weren't playing up to their ability. So do I believe that the Bucks will ultimately win this series? If they do what they're supposed to, but that's not something that should be overly applauded. You're going against a team with no all-star, a 22-year-old player that is dominating the league, and you got all of this. When I say what does that mean, that means you have 2 all-stars, you have 2 MVPs, you have the former defensive player of the year. This is a team that you should dominate. I'm sorry, like, that's what they should do, and they've never done that in the postseason. That's why no one ever truly believes on them. So even if they win this series and they beat Trae Young, is that something that we should, like, sit there and, like, be overly excited about?
What you mean?
As of right now, RJ, though, you got to think about this real quick. As of right now, you got to think about this. Bucks are hung over, if you would. Hungover from their win. So like you said, they walked in like, okay, now we just beat Brooklyn. Now we have the Hawks.
They beat a third of Brooklyn.
Look,
they beat a third of Brooklyn. So you shouldn't be overly excited if you barely beat a broken down Brooklyn team. You should keep that edge. That's what I'm trying to express.
It's like a third and a half a third.
I'm saying that's what they beat a third of Brooklyn.
Okay, well, I tell you what. I tell you one thing, 2 things. One, they swept the Miami Heat that outed them last year, right? Okay, then on top of that, it's no other team in the Western Conference, in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, that would have been able to withstand or beat the Brooklyn Nets the way that Kevin Durant was playing, except for the Milwaukee Bucks. And RJ, you and Vince are overreacting to one game, and y'all know, and you should know, especially you, from being a former champion, from being part of one of the greatest championships of all time, coming back from 3-1, that you never. It's a long series. So what? They came out. They came out casual. They came out. They was cool. They was relaxed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I have a high standard for teams that I believe are going to potentially win a championship. Because once they're up in the rafters as champions, then there's a standard that has been set or that you ultimately accomplish. And they've been cheating the basketball gods more times than not.
And you have to give props to a team who does not have this experience. The Milwaukee Bucks have this experience. They went out there and played. No, they played like they were the team that didn't have the experience, and the Hawks looked like they had more experience. And they did what they're supposed to do. Well, you got to give them their credit.
Let me correct you, since you have a degree from North Carolina, and let me correct Mr. Arizona himself.
No degree.
I don't think there's a degree there.
Listen, you don't have a degree, but listen, they came out with a sense of entitlement. That's what the Milwaukee Bucks did. They came out with a sense of entitlement.
But what have they ever accomplished to do that?
And the Hawks play like they were not afraid.
We're done. I'm done.
We're taking a quick timeout. I, by the way, have to apologize to the Hawks franchise. I said they haven't been in the finals since the 50s. I was wrong. It was 1961.
Oh, don't apologize.
I was off by like a year and a half. By the way, they were in St. Louis when they won their last title, 1958. It's been a while. It's been 50 years for the Bucks. The Suns and the Clippers, of course, never got into the finals. This is very exciting. I'm all for the new blood.
Sometimes we make mistakes on our stats.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.